What's going down? Welcome back to the Fuck This Shit podcast. I'm your host, Dre. Back again as always. We start this motherfucker the same way, man. Thank y'all for taking the time out to listen. Thank you for the social media engagement. Thank you for all the support that y'all show, top to bottom. That shit is greatly appreciated. As I always say, I literally would not do this shit if it wasn't for that. So thank y'all. Quick business, man. If you ain't left a 5-star review, man, go leave a 5-star review. Go share this with a fucking friend. You know what I'm saying? We got fire content. We need more people to hear it. We need niggas to know how dope it is. So make sure you doing that. Make sure you following all the social media platforms. All of that is in the description of this episode and every episode. Make sure you sign up to be a subscriber. That's in the description of this episode and every other episode. If you listening on Spotify, tune into YouTube so you can look at the video of this podcast. You know what I'm saying? You get to look at my beautiful face. You know what I'm saying? You get to see the transformation because right now I'm doing an intro fresh from the barbershop. Got my beard looking crisply. You know what I'm saying? Shit looking good. But the interview was recorded before I got the beard trimmed up. So a nigga was looking homeless and haggard. So, you know, you get to see a nigga transformation on video. You feel me? Nah, but real talk. I'm gonna keep the intro short, y'all. This is another interview. I told y'all we was gonna be doing more guests, more interviews on the podcast this season. I wasn't bullshitting. I try and be a man of my word. So I did this podcast with my little nigga Jaleel, man. A little bit of backstory on this. Jaleel and his wife lost their son Kian last year. He had a like a congenital disorder. It's not genetic, but he had like a disorder that led him to have his brain vessels were really susceptible to damage, and he had a lot of issues throughout life. And you know, at first they was told that he wouldn't make it much time at all, and they ended up having 3 years with him. But this interview was just all about kind of what it was like for him to have to we had to kind of see what it was like to go through that, to deal with such a loss, to have to still take care of his family, take care of himself, you know, watching his wife go through something like that, what that was like. Y'all, the interview is literally nothing short of inspirational. I didn't know the story in depth before I reached out to him. I knew his son had passed, and I see him from afar, and I had saw kind of what that loss had done to him as far as kind of taking something from him to a degree, if you want to put it that way. And just recently I had kind of started to like see that light come back, and I felt like that would be great to hear, you know, his perspective on what led him to that space, how he got through it, you know, just what happened altogether. I know there's lots of parents who may have lost someone, lost a child, or it's people in general who've dealt with tremendous loss, or relationships that have dealt with things that make it seem like, man, how are we gonna make it through this after that? And this interview touches on all of that, man. Having the persistence, the drive, the support system, everything. It is, in my opinion, this is the best episode that we've had of the Fuck This Shit podcast. So without further ado, y'all, my interview with Jaleel. All right, y'all, we back with another interview on the Fuck This Shit podcast. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all we was gonna make this more of a regular thing. This is my guy Jaleel. You know what I'm
Hey, how
saying?
y'all doing, man? Thank you for having me on the show, man.
Hey man, absolutely, man. Thank you for coming on.
No
Uh,
doubt.
you know, I don't bring nobody on the podcast for no reason. I brought my guy on here, um, really because I really want y'all to hear my dude's story. You know what I'm saying? Kind of the everything that him and his wife been through over the past few years. It is. I just think it's one of the things that people go through and it never really gets talked about. Black people go through it. It definitely never get. I've never heard really a platform or anything where black people talk about it, and what specifically, you know what I'm saying, I think, what was it? Was it 2 years ago or last year?
What's up?
I said, how long ago was it? 2 years? Last year?
Uh, yeah, last year. Yeah,
Last year?
last year. Yep.
Yeah, so I know. So last year, my man, he lost his son. Um, And I just wanted to kind of go through what that was like. But before we get through that, I wanted y'all to know why we here and everything. But before we get to that, you know what I'm saying, I want to start off with a little bit of backstory, you know what I'm saying? Who is Jaleel? You know what I'm saying? Like why? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? What do we get here? And part of the reason why is because I think that has a lot to do with the story, like the just your character overall. You know what I'm saying? Your demeanor overall. So tell us, man. You know what I'm saying? Where'd you grow up? Where was you born? You know what I'm saying? What was young Jaleel like?
Oh yeah, man. I grew up in Lawton. I'm from Shady City. Been there
Mm,
pretty much my whole life. I'm born in OKC though.
okay.
And crazy story about that, how I ended up in Lawton. I was like 3 years old. Yeah, I was three, playing with fire. And I fucked around, caught the house on fire, man. And yo, we had to move, and we ended up in Lawton. And my first spot was over there, Regency. It's called Bel Air now, but
Oh,
back
over
then
there,
it
right by the casino, or is no?
didn't
Oh
we?
no, Bel Air is on the south side, huh?
Yeah, it's on the south side, like off of
Okay.
Bishop.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah,
you passing like the convenience store, like you going towards the airport on the south side.
yeah.
But yeah, man, we moved out over there in Regency, and it's crazy. That's where I met Keys at. He was my first friend when I first came down here. So,
That's dope. Yeah, and
and I've been in Lawton ever since. From there,
yeah, and
then till
that's where I
later.
met you. That's where I met. That's where I met Jaleel from. I met Jaleel from Keys. Keys introduced us. You know what I'm saying? Back when Keys used to be at the Stew Tough and shit like
Oh
that.
yeah,
Introduced me to
for
my
sure.
nigga, and I always loved your spirit, bro. Like I was like, man,
Oh,
like yeah,
thanks, man. I
like
appreciate that.
from the first time I met you, I was like, bro, Keys, like yeah, Keys introduced me to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying that he fuck with, and like you stood out because I'm like, bro, like the energy on your homie, like that's good energy, bro. Like that's
Oh, dope, man.
yeah,
Thanks, man. I learned that
that's
at a
good
young
people.
age, bro.
Yeah, did you have people in your was your people like that? Is your are you close with your family? How's your relationship like with like you got brothers sisters? What's that like?
Oh yeah, man. I'm the baby. Like I got three older brothers and a younger sister. It's five of us all together.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
pretty deep, man. Yeah, we all different. Like it's wild. Like kind of like the Ninja Turtles, bro.
Hell yeah.
uh like I would say like one of the brothers, he's like a leader, so he be Leonardo. Shit, we have a serious brother. That's Raphael right off the rip.
All
Then we
day.
got a nerd tech. That's kind of where I picked up a lot of my influence from is Danny. Some people know who he is. When I was growing up, I was with him all the time because he was in law at one point, but I was always around him. But he's the Donatello, and then me, I'm Michelangelo. I'm the party guy, the adventurous one. So,
Yeah,
and
most
Precious,
definitely.
she's my sister. She's the roughneck, man. She's she the gutter one. She the runt, but she the gutters one, man. She cool though, man. We got a cool little bond with each other though, man. And that's kind of at a young age we learned that family is all we got, man. So
That's dope. That's dope. No, I like that, bro. It's
for sure,
everybody don't grow up with family. That's something that
for sure.
I've
I didn't
learned as
grow up
I've
mine
gotten
either,
older.
but same. Yeah, we didn't grow up. Only grew up with Precious and Danny,
Okay.
and then after my teenage years, it was just everybody moved out
Everybody had
young.
moved out because you're so
Yeah.
young.
Then
I
now
mean,
that I'm older,
but you still had that foundation though. You know what I'm saying?
right?
Like
Yeah,
it's
for
some
sure,
people who like when I
for
say they
sure.
didn't grow up with family, it's like they don't understand what it's like to have
Right,
that support system. You know what I'm saying? Even though
for
your
sure,
brothers had moved out, you knew like if I'm going through some shit, I can always hit my brother up.
for sure. Right off the rip, no problems, questions asked,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
huge, bro. I think
Oh
that
yeah, it definitely is, man.
kind of sets that foundation. I mean, and if y'all was in Regency, I know y'all wasn't balling out the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no,
You
hell
say,
no.
but when you got that family, you got like actual strong family systems and shit like that or whatever. Like that don't really, you know what I'm saying? Like the motherfuckers don't even be caring about that shit. You know what I'm
No,
saying? Like
nah, man. It's
niggas be
people. It's one of them things that's overlooked, but it's definitely worthwhile. It's overlooked easily though.
yeah, straight up. So like junior high, high school, you know what I'm saying? Growing up in the L. Um Niggas is gang banging, you know what I'm saying? Niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like niggas act like the L. I tell niggas I'm from Oklahoma, they act like we just be in there like riding
Cowboy
horses and shit
boots and
like
shit.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
man. Always, man.
you know what I'm
Like
saying? So niggas gang banging and shit, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers is motherfuckers don't be graduating from high school in the
for
L.
sure.
Like niggas don't be really finding a way, like what was it kind of like for you, like figuring out who you wanted to be, you know what I'm saying, coming up?
For sure. You kind of touched on it before. Like, I grew up with my brother Danny. He's a lot of my influence, especially as I got older. But I started off rough, just in it like anybody else, man. And I started leading the wrong way, and then certain things just didn't feel right. Like, uh, like doing crash dummy missions. Hey, go hit his pockets. We gonna jump him. And then my friends had fun with it, but over time, like I was cool with it at the time. But when I'm by myself, I'm thinking like, damn, that didn't feel. I'm thinking about that shit wasn't cool, bro. Like, and I felt that at a young age, so I already knew I wasn't fitting in. And then I was like, man, I ain't no hodo. So I understood like if I be myself, it's gonna come with different kind of challenges. So I started being myself, but I kept my hands sharp because you know what I'm
Real
saying? Hey,
nigga.
I'm about to pull these Pokemon cards out. I'm about to talk about anime. But if you niggas talking shit, you about to see me. And that's the kind of attitude I had after a while. Then it's wild now, man. The shit that shit you got made fun of for growing up, but now it's a wave,
Now
but
it's the wave.
it's the
I mean,
wave.
but
But
niggas
I
don't
was
know,
on
but
that young.
but it was always cool. You know
It
what I'm saying?
was.
Like
It
that's the
always
thing. Like
was.
even it was never something that I was in. Like it was like the Pokemon cards for sure. Cause I'm of that
Oh yeah,
generation.
everybody had
Nigga,
Pokemon
I had
cards.
the
Even
Pokemon
hood
cards. Nigga,
niggas
I
had
was,
Pokemon
bro.
cards.
Even hood. That's some surface level shit.
For
You know what I'm
real.
saying? Like, but you hear about that a lot. I think that's kind of interesting to even talk about to a degree too, because you hear people talk about, when I was young, the shit that I like now wasn't cool to like. You know what I'm saying? And it was out the box to be that way. But I mean, it take a certain level of, like, looking back at it, you got to realize it took a certain level of courage on your part, a certain level of like that. It's hard to explain. Basically, like being willing to be like, nah, I like this shit, whether y'all niggas think it's cool or not. Like that's really the coolest shit a
Hey,
motherfucker
I was
can do.
scared, bro. I was scared, man, because I'm like, damn, I'm about to be weird. And like, man, I knew what was gonna come with it, bro. But I was like, all I can do is just protect myself. If y'all, nobody gonna hold me, man. And especially when I was younger, man, like, I had that temper to where like I snap, but it's like with friends, I didn't want to snap and hit friends, so I'll get mad, but I wouldn't do nothing. But it
Yeah.
was one time I snapped and I did something, and I was like, oh, I got hands for real. And after that, that confidence boosted. I wasn't scared no more after that. So, but
Hey,
yeah, I
bruh.
started off. I experienced bullying and all that shit. I felt all that before, so that's why I don't allow it no more than anybody around me. I don't allow it. I teach them, hey, defend yourself, man, because something I realized young too is people will stick their neck out for anybody else. Hey, bro, if you need me anytime, man, I'll do this and that for you, bro. I'll drop anything for you. Hey, you do that for somebody else, why not do it for yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Bruh, that's a
When you by
bar.
yourself, bro, you the only
That's
one
a
in that
bar,
room.
bruh.
You the only one, man. So I started appreciating loving myself young, bro, and I realized that shit's contagious, just like bad
Oh,
energy. I learned it
absolutely.
young, bro. So that's where that spirit come from, bro. Like that's where I developed
Absolutely.
it at a young age, man.
I love that, bro. That's what's up, bro. That's
No
what's up.
doubt.
That's funny because that energy, that's what I was talking about from the rip. Like that's something that I
For
seen.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? And you from the rip. I did an interview with DJ from the
Yeah,
barbershop, and I
shout out
was
to
kind of
DJ,
talking to him
man. He be
about,
he be doing his thing, man.
hell yeah. Uh I was talking to him about what it was like for me, you know what I'm saying, coming up, watching him, you know what I'm saying, and then even to hear him like talk about watching me come up, because DJ's not 30 years older than me, you know what I'm saying? DJ's 10 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? We kind of
Right.
he enough older than me for me to have always seen like, okay, like you kind of like big homie status, but not like, this is like my dad. You know what I'm saying? And when
Right.
I be talking about watching like you and Keys and them come up, like I be kind of feeling like that, cuz I remember when I met y'all
Mm-hmm.
weren't men.
Yeah, we
You
were
know
in
what I'm
high
saying?
school,
Like,
man.
yeah, like y'all was kids. You know what I'm saying? Like
For
y'all was coming
sure.
up. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all was young niggas or whatever. But like now, it's so different to see y'all like actually come up. You know what I'm saying? And grow into like actually being men and shit like that.
For sure.
And seeing the way that y'all handle your business, take care of your families and shit like that or whatever. It just go to show that like all that shit translates though. Like all that shit that I seen in y'all when you was young, like are the blocks that like built you into the man that you are now. So it's
For
kind of dope to
sure.
see, you know what I'm saying, that progression in somebody. And it's dope to hear on your end like what your mentality was like, kind of what got you to that. Cause
For
Like I said, I
sure.
always seen that spirit in you, but I didn't necessarily know where it came from, and I didn't know how intentional it was.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like,
On this,
maybe
like I
that's just
said,
who he is.
my big brother, man, like shout out to Danny Morris, man. That's the guy that's my big influence, man. Like he was always different, but it was always he accepted it, man. I like different stuff. I like art, I like anime, I like cartoons, I like video games. And I was like, I like that stuff too, but I'm scared to tell people that. And then after a while, he wasn't scared to do it. So I was like, I ain't gonna be scared to do it either. So
Yeah,
that's where a lot of my influence came from. So that's that family, like you mentioned, having that foundation, it helped a lot
that's fucking fire. That's
for
fire.
sure.
So okay, you know what I'm saying? We get through junior high, we get through high school, you know what I'm saying? We doing our thing, whatever. So you married. How long have you been married? How long first of all,
Oh
how long have you
man,
and Jordan been together?
13 years,
Y'all been together
13 years
13 years,
altogether,
been
and
married
married
how
for
long?
seven, for
Been married
7.
7. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all met in what, junior high, high school?
Man, it was crazy because I had got suspended from school, and it was for locking. So
Yeah.
I was suspended all like towards the last semester of school. I was out of school, and then the last day I had to come back to take a semester test, and that's where I met Jordan. And she was like, "I never seen you in school," but people, are, "Oh, Jaleel, what's up? I ain't seen you in
Yeah,
forever." It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh,
Niggas
nigga,
who know,
I
know.
was in sack, nigga." So I was in sack, and that's back when in Lawton High across the street where Brahms and all that. That's where sack was. It used to be right
Yeah.
across the street.
Yeah, I remember.
And I had to come across the school and take my semester test. And after it was over, I ran into Jordan. I met her through Taylor Houston. Rest in peace. She introduced us, and man, it was the last day of school, and I liked her, man. I was like, she's different because she didn't do the whole, "Oh, Jaleel, how you doing?" She was just like, "Oh, what's up?" Treated me normal, and I was like, that's dope, you know. Then
Yeah.
I was in Upward Bound, which is like a college prep thing. My brother did that as well, so I did it, and it's like a
Hey, bro, hold on.
program.
Not to cut you off.
Oh
That's some
yeah.
Lawton nigga shit. I'm in sack. No, wait. I'm in sack. I'm in sack all 45 days, but I'm
Man,
also in upward bound because
hey,
I'm out
exactly.
here. I'm out here, but don't think I ain't smart though.
Man, exactly. But at a young age, bro, like I like Pokemon cards, but if you think you're gonna hold me, it's not gonna happen, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
that's not an option. But okay, go ahead.
yeah, bro. So yeah, it's definitely man, bro. So I met her at Upper Bound, man, and uh, at that point I was like, I ain't gonna lose you again because I talked to you a little bit that day at school, but I was like, man, I should have got her name and like locked her down. I didn't really, I talked to her in Upper Bound, man, and at that time she had a dude, so that ain't stopped nothing. No, I was like, man, he can see me. I don't care. I really liked her that much. I really did, bro. I did, bro. It was wild, man. I was
My
gonna
nigga,
fight for it.
my nigga was ready to risk it all off the rip. My nigga said he
Exactly.
can see me, bro. It's whatever.
Right.
It's
I didn't
whatever.
make it no secret.
Yeah.
And that's the roots of it right there, man. So, and then her and her dude, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I guess they got into it and he broke up with her, and
Yeah.
that was it. She was free at that point. I was already there, and I took her, and then we tried to come back in the picture or whatever, and yeah, she was already gone with me. And
Nigga
then we just
say
started
niggas.
growing from there, bro. I started changing from that point, like,
Yeah.
but that started a lot of that too. Um, that's literally meat and potatoes of how we met, and then over through high school, she transferred over to Ike with me, and we graduated and all that stuff.
Cause all
Started
the
doing
real
our Upper
niggas went to
Bound.
Ike.
Ike was cool, man. I enjoyed Ike. It really was, man. I learned better, and like, yeah, the academic program was better at the time, so it
Real
was a good
niggas.
move, man. And shit, man. Then, man, so much that happened. Like, it's crazy, but we got tighter though, cause she hit me with an ultimatum.
Yeah.
Like, me, I was still doing my school stuff, but dang, I don't even want. But I was doing my school stuff, but man, I was still out here pushing. I was pushing weed and shit back when grams was 10 a gram and all that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I learned to plug at a young age, and I was pushing behind the scenes. And then nobody believed me. I'm cool. I'm collected. Just the kind of person I am. And then,
Yeah.
man, she didn't believe I was doing all that. And she came over one weekend. I lifted up the mattress, showed her my gun, all my stash, the money, showed her everything.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Hey, look, man, like." you can either get a job or you can do all this shit on your own. And I was like, I really like this girl, so
Hey,
I went
bruh.
with the ultimatum, bro. And then I got that job at Papa Louie's. That's my first job, and I worked 2, 3 weeks, and I finally got that first paycheck, and it was like $270. I'm like, nigga, I went from making 2 bands a week to damn. Oh man, I was like, I can't do this
Bro,
shit.
I done talked about
I
this
can't do
before.
this.
They don't know, bro.
Fuck.
When you been making a little fast money real quick, and then you go to a
Man.
job and you over here
Oh, and then you gotta
struggling.
listen to people and shit. Oh man, you telling me what to do, and I gotta
But
listen, and
hey, shout out her though, because most of these women, bro, they have seen that shit and they think that shit is cool. Like
that's how,
they like,
man, that's
oh
how
yeah, but
that
like,
every girl I met was like that too. Keep getting that bag, babe. Keep getting, and
but she
just
seen the bigger
influencing
picture
me
on
to
that
do
shit.
that. Yup. And man,
She
bro,
seen the bigger
I didn't
picture on
want to
that
let her
shit though.
go. And that's when I knew for a fact she was different. I was like, yeah, I'm in for the long haul, man, and that's it, man. Like
So okay,
that's it.
you what you do after you got that first check at Papa Louie's, man? What was your mentality, bro?
Man, I called her. I was like, hey, I can't do this shit. That's what I said. I was like, I can't do this shit. Nah, man. She was like, it's okay, babe. It's gonna get better. I said, no, it ain't. It ain't finna get better. This shit whack, man. Hell no, man. And I just started seeing the bigger picture of it because I started trying to look at the good in things, like I normally do.
Yeah,
And I was like, well, at least it's $270, but guess what? I ain't looking over my shoulder for it. I didn't
yeah,
rob nobody for it. I didn't have to hit no lick and flip nothing for it. So I guess it did feel good to get honest money, but I just needed more. And then
way
that's where the
more.
hustle. Yeah, I was like, so I've been climbing up doing this shit so I can climb up in the legal world. So man, I didn't keep a job no longer than 3 months. I was moving jobs all the time. If you people knew me a lot, damn, I see you at Walmart. Damn, you work here too? Yeah, man.
Nigga
Man,
say
you
if they
even pay
paying me
50
50
cent
cents
more.
more. No,
Yeah,
and I,
I'm moving.
bro, I knew it.
Hey, bro, some law and shit. That's exactly what I was on. I ain't
My
trying to
nigga
go
said,
no
I'm gonna promote
seniority.
myself. Y'all ain't gotta promote me.
Exactly.
All right, bet. 725. Here, bro. They
Man,
paying 775. Oh,
man,
y'all $9
man,
over here.
exactly.
Y'all
Yeah, that's exactly how it was, bro. My resume, I put in my 2 week notice and left on good terms. So, hey, I had a lot of jobs on my resume, but shit, man, it came with experience and I learned a lot of shit. Like, that's where I got a lot of my trick of trades with stuff. I just did so many jobs, man. It was cool, man. So,
and you doing security now, huh?
yeah, man.
That you like
Dang.
that's like you got your own little business doing that, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
footprint security. Yep, that's
that's
our
the vibe I
business.
was getting. I only see you post, so like I couldn't tell for sure, but I was like, I don't think he worked for nobody. I think that's his shit. I
No, it's
think
our shit. Yeah, it's me and two other guys. We run the whole thing.
how long you had that?
It's going on a little bit over a year now. We just started. We
Oh.
got a couple contracts. We hiring people, getting them paid.
Okay, well
It's cool,
let's
man.
rewind then. Let's rewind then because I
For
actually
sure.
with the way that timing lined up, I want to talk about like how you
Oh, how it
dealt with
all
life
got there.
starting that.
Oh
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
While you was dealing with everything else.
Oh
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So we talked about how you and Jordan met. So y'all
hmm
meet, you know what I'm saying, young, you get married. How old were y'all when y'all got married?
Oh
Like
man. We got married back in 2015.
so about shit, 7 years ago y'all got married.
Yeah, 2015. So 7 years. Yeah, I was about 23.
7 years, so you
Yeah, she
married.
was like 20 and I was 23.
I kinda remember y'all getting a house. Y'all got a house.
Yeah, yeah, I can let you know. Like, all right, so it started off with it's just us after high school.
Yeah.
Um, we moved into our first apartment. We was over there at Raintree.
Okay.
So that's where we started, man, over there. And my sister had some puppies or something like that. This makes sense in the story, but she had
Yeah.
some puppies and it was like pit mix or something. I still have the dog to this day. But I had her and I didn't know how big she was gonna get, and I didn't want to get rid of my dog. So I was like, we're gonna have to get a house. And
Yeah.
that gave us motivation to like shit, like let's go ahead and put in some hours at the job and me and her putting in our bread together to get a house. And so we stayed at Raintree for about a year. Yeah, I think about a year, and then we moved into our house over there, over on the west side by Kid Zone.
Just to
And that
clarify
was the first house.
for niggas who not from the L, whatever, like, and I only want to clarify
That's
this because
right.
I want to keep kind of reinforcing the point. One of the things that's dope about your story as you tell it is you not one of the people like you meet motherfuckers who like they too good to start somewhere.
Oh
Like in
yeah.
their mind, they like, no, I'm too good. I'm not gonna live here. I'm not gonna work
Nah.
here. I'm not gonna do dot dot dot. And they
Hey,
got
beggars
so
can't be
much
choosers,
pride
bro.
that they won't start.
Right.
Exactly, my nigga. Like, but it's like you never let where you at like directly impact your vision as to where you going. You never let your
Mm-hmm.
ego get in the way of like what you need in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like those are like big things that I think people kind of got to pick up on. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, my first job was Papa Louie's. I own my security company now. You know what I'm saying? Like
See,
my first
yeah.
spot was in Raintree. Like Raintree is the hood in Lawton. Like it's not
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying? Like Raintree is the hood. Like we was living in the
Man.
hood. You know what I'm saying? Like and then we was like we ain't trying to live like this no more. Like we need more space. We need more this. We need more that. So we went to work. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly. I
me and
grew
my
up like
wife
that, man.
got to get, you know what I'm saying, put our heads together, was like, this is what we need to do to get where we trying to be, and then we made these decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's dope as fuck. But okay, so go ahead. You get the crib.
Oh yeah, for sure. Before we even led up to that, man, like you made a good point. Like I knew for a fact, like the way I'm living, I don't want to live like this forever, man. Like always been like on the system and stuff like that. That's our background. So
Yeah.
started off in Regency, then I moved to Ranch Oaks, been there forever. Then we moved off to Jefferson, then we moved to Monroe. It was everywhere I moved was the bad spots, man. So it was just
Yeah.
like, damn, like I don't want to live like this forever. And that's where that working started. So I'm at the bottom right now, and like shit, I got a girl that's with me the same way. She grew up in the POs.
Yeah.
So it was like she from the north side, I'm from the south side. So I was
Yeah. And
like,
the POs is the Lawton Projects.
yeah, oh yeah.
Like,
And I
like
moved
the
there
POs
later.
is
Like
like everywhere that we done mentioned before was the hood. None of them places was the POs. The POs is like,
man, yeah. It was
yeah,
and
it's
then
rough
like
over
in
there.
my senior year I was in the POs because we lived there for a while. We lived on Hoover. It was muddy over there and everything, but
The POs
yeah,
is the type
bro.
of spot where like your front door to your apartment really be like a closet door. Like it don't even be like a real front
Right.
door. You know
At
what I'm saying?
all.
Like it ain't even
It's just
like
there.
it's just there. Like a nigga ain't gotta kick in your door at the POs. They could just
It just go into your house. Like
yeah, they could give it a quick little heave ho, bro. You can get in your shit
that's
with a
it.
credit card, bro. The fucking driver's license.
Right. They got a screwdriver. It's over with for you.
It's
That's the
over with for
deadbolt. They
you.
can get the deadbolt off with the screwdriver. There's no luck for you. But yeah, it's just that's how I started. I was Papa Louie's. It was a start, man, and I was just like, we gotta do something. Then thank God I had a woman that was just she wasn't with me for just cash. She was with me, like you said, for the long haul, and that had a big picture in my life too. And like you said, the right woman on your right on the side of you is a lot on a man's life, man. So I just
Straight
happened to
up.
be lucky with the right woman. She didn't want to finesse me or nothing. So, but yeah, we moved out into our first house. We was over there by we was on 33rd Street. It's like behind it's weird to explain. It's like behind like Long John Silver. You know,
I know
like
what
when
you
you get
talking
off of
about. Oh,
Cash
I
in
know
that little
exactly what you're talking
area.
about. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
where I
yeah.
used to
Because I
live.
kind
Yeah,
of
that
used
was
to
our
stay over
first
there.
house. Okay.
I used to stay
That
on
was
34th.
I was on 33rd. Okay, so you know
Yeah, I
exactly
know
where I was
exactly where
at.
you was at. I know
Yep.
exactly where you was at.
That was our first place, man. And then the owner, you know, we were renting and stuff. So the owner of the house went under eviction or his stuff went up on auction. So we had to move in 30 days. So that was like, dang, you know, so uh it wasn't that bad. We just spent all our money and moved somewhere else. And then we ended up in our house over in Meadowbrook.
Okay.
And that's over, it's still in by Kids Zone and all that off of
Yeah.
38. So it was a good area and stuff. And then man, the twist and turn was when we had our son. That's
Mm-hmm.
where everything started changing. And it was wild because how it all happened, you know, we mind you, this is Jordan's third pregnancy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the
So I
third
didn't know
one.
that.
Yeah, see, so the first time I went to basic training, it was 2 years after high school.
Yeah.
I wanted to go active duty, and then I got hurt, and then I lost my temper, and yeah, it was bad, and I got kicked out. So
Yeah.
there's the active duty route, and then live life a little bit, working jobs, trying to make it happen, kind of doing what I've been doing, work different jobs so I make more pay.
Yeah.
And I capped out at Sam's Club, man, and that's where I was at for a while with Sam's Club. It paid the best out of everything I was at.
Yeah.
And
Especially
then
in Lawton. It ain't a lot. Niggas don't realize
exactly,
there's not a lot of options in Lawton.
it's not a lot, man. And that's why it's a black hole. Most people stay with the fast lane because it's easier, you know, for
Straight
sure. And
up.
I'm telling you, but that's what that was. And I capped out there, and then wifey worked there too. So we capped out. We doing the good living. Then when our son was born, I'm fast forwarding. This was yeah, right after Sam's Club, I did the military thing. That didn't work out. Then we still working these jobs and stuff, but it was just like I gotta make something shake because this is whack, man. I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. This.
Yeah.
And then I was able to get back in the military, but I couldn't go active if I did it again. I have to do one term as National Guard, and then I can do active if I decide to. But I was like, I'm just gonna do National Guard, and I got 6 years to get my life together, pretty much, if I'm gonna use this military stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the plan I had. So, I'm doing orders with the military, making money, and then while I was in basic training during that second time I was going to basic, wifey was already pregnant. But then she lost them when I was in basic training during for miscarry. So she miscarried when I was in basic. So that was already rough because we're separated, and she's going through a miscarry by herself. Yeah. So that was real traumatic. And, I'm trying to pass basic the second time because this is my second time in basic. So
yeah,
I'm not trying to fuck this up, so I'm not trying to let that distract me while going through that. And that was already a trial for me.
Yeah, it's a major though. Yeah, you going through something
right,
major.
I'm young. I'm only in my young 20s.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened, man. And I passed basic and all that good stuff. And I made it home. Wifey got pregnant again after I got home.
That's how that
and then, yeah, man. And yeah, that's when Kian Bear was we were conceived with him.
Okay.
But it was wild because one day she was just like, I ain't feel them kick all day today. So we was like, okay, cool. So we drove up to the city, or we drove up to the hospital to get looked at. And they said, hey, there's some fluid in his brain. And we was like, fluid? Okay. So they med-vaced us all the way to the city, and they did a emergency C-section to get him out of there.
Oh, okay.
And so we already knew from the rip that something was wrong after that.
So just to slow you down a little bit though.
For sure.
Up until this point, throughout the whole pregnancy, like everything's normal. Like y'all
everything's normal. She's
like
eating
they haven't
clean.
Told you anything, like
right,
nothing. Okay.
Drinking water. She drinking water, eating clean. Got that pretty glow going on.
Do you remember how early it was that they had to do the C-section? Like how far she was?
It was like 39 weeks.
Okay, so she was like she was like damn near full term.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was good. Like everything was cool. Then she was just like, he ain't kicked today. It was just last minute. So she was just like, I just don't feel right. I feel like something's wrong. And I don't challenge mom's intuition. That's something I don't do.
You can't, bro, because they know, bro.
They know, man. They know. So sure enough, man, we went up there and got looked at. It was some fluid in his brain. They didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
They put her through hell, man, with the whole procedure. She felt the C-section. It was terrible.
Because
the medicine
they was trying
wore
to get
off.
him out so quick.
Right. And the medicine wore off, and they tried to make her have it naturally through labor. So it was just like that wasn't helping with him because he wasn't coming out that way. So she was in labor for like 21 hours or something like that. And then they did the emergency C-section, and that's how we got him out. But when he came out, he was blue. So we was like, oh, snap. So we already knew something was wrong, but we didn't know what.
Yeah.
So that's how that all started with him.
So ultimately, like, what are those first few days like? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do y'all, how, I don't, so I guess you could start off with like, so like, what did his condition end up being? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was it? Ultimately.
All right, so after he was born and stuff, he went through all these tests, and he was a lab rat pretty much. It was sad, man, but they did all these tests on him. They took blood from me and wifey, did a genetic test, and come to find out he has something called code 481. And we like, what is that? And it was less than 200 cases worldwide on it. So we're like, so we got some rare shit, and so we did a little genetic test and all that stuff, and it wasn't in either of our blood. We don't have any genetic defects.
So you don't even have the
right.
The
it was just a freak accident. So ended up what code 481 is pretty much, it's a collagen gene defect, and what that is to where your brain vessels are real fragile. So any kind of seizure, a stroke, anything, your brain vessels are more prone to burst. So he had a stroke within the womb, and that's what caused his brain to bleed.
That's why he stopped moving.
That's why he stopped
When
moving.
she
Yeah.
stopped feeling them move, that's what that
Right.
was.
Yeah, and then it was a grade 4 brain bleed, so literally his whole brain bled. So before he was even born to use anything, he was already had scarred brain all through his
Uh,
head. But that was the meats and potatoes of it was after all the lab testing and all this stuff, he was always getting blood taken from him and all this stuff. But
mm-hmm.
that's what they found out. He has, but now it's called Gold syndrome. So
Okay.
that's what his case is, but it's still a very rare case. So, and we
Yeah,
just
like
got
yeah, you
caught
said
with it
200 cases worldwide, not 200 cases in the.
worldwide.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And he was caught with that, man. And so we were in the NICU, naturally, we just in the NICU the whole time, couple
Mm-hmm.
weeks or whatever. And they did all the testing on him. They told us what his condition was. And after that, they were just like, man, like we did everything we could do. We can just take him home and love him. And they say he pretty much ain't gonna live past a week. So we was preparing for it, so we was like, let's just love on him the best we can. And he ended up living 3 years.
I was
So
about
that's
to
what
say. I was about to
he
say. I
ended
was
up
about to
living
say. I
three
know
years.
he lived. I was about to say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He fought through. Like
Wow.
it's crazy because when we were there was a lot of other sick kids, but their parents weren't there. They were just
Yeah.
abandoned type stuff. So we think that just loving them made them fight. Like we really
That's
think that's what.
wild, bro.
Because
That's
yeah, if
amazing.
you seen him,
Honestly,
like he was messed up, like it was bad for him. But yeah, he
three
wanted to
years.
live, man. Oh
That's
yeah,
that is because I know like. So what was so what's that like when you start to realize the transition of we need to take our son home, love him for this short amount of time we're gonna have him and get ready to grieve this loss kind of immediately. Because I mean, like they
right.
telling you at the hospital, like basically take your son home, like he'll, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna die like in the next week or two. You know what I'm
Right.
saying, like
That's
just
exactly what they said in a
whatever.
nutshell.
But like so at a certain point, you know what I'm saying, at week 3, week 4, week 6, then you got to start to think about it more practically. It's like okay, so how do we care for him?
Exactly. That's you nailed it on the head. Cause well, my first initial thought when he came home with us, I was like, well, look, babe, I can tell you this. This is during that time when that daycare shit was going on. I don't know if you remember. You pretty woke on news and stuff, but
Yeah,
with the daycare stuff where kids were getting hurt and the
they,
abuse and stuff was happening in
mm-hmm,
daycares and everything, it was during
yeah,
that time. So I was like, man, I'd be damned. I have my son pretty much special needs. His brain is destroyed
yeah.
pretty much to be in daycare and he can't be taken care of. So I told wifey, hey, babe, you stay home, you take care of him, and I'm gonna figure out finances. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I have a history of hustling, so I relied on that. I said,
You knew
Jaleel,
you
you
was gonna
hustled
find a
your
way.
ass. I knew I was gonna find a way, even though I didn't know how. I
Yeah,
just knew. I followed my gut, bro, and was like, you gotta make this shit happen because mom got to stay home and take care of this boy like 24/7. So and I knew that at a young age, like or when he was born, when he was first born, I knew like I gotta pick this weight up. I
that's
already knew,
that's
and I was
dope,
like, I'd be
bro.
damned to have my wife work, I work, and then he be in daycare, and he come back and can't
Yeah,
tell us anything. And
yeah.
nah, I wasn't going for it,
He's like,
so
we gotta
I
protect
took the
him in a
weight.
different way.
Yep, and I took the weight. So when people say, uh, things are too expensive, you can't pay for everything like you could back in the day. That wasn't a choice for me. Like my son is sick. Like I can't listen to that. It got to be a way. And
See,
that's what I went through, man. So
that shit's so powerful though, bro. Like,
yeah, I
you
can't listen
can't,
to that.
you
I can't
can't listen
afford
to
that.
that. Yeah,
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 I can't afford it, man. So that's where it started, bro. That's where I was like, I gotta figure this shit out. Then on top of just being black, man, just trying to do something out here. I'm out of Lawton. I'm finally up in the city, and I don't know if you remember, we were down bad, but we did a GoFundMe. A lot of people helped us, man. Like after we found out his condition and we knew what it was, we was like, can we get any kind of donation so we can move to the city? Because we were
to
steadily
be closer to his
back and
medical
forth.
care. Yeah,
Exactly. He was there every other week, 2 times a week, and man, the L and the community helped us a lot, and we used that to move, and the rest of it went towards all his special needs stuff. We didn't use none of it for ourselves.
that's so dope though because it's like people shit on stuff like that. Like,
Oh,
but
I was
that's
embarrassed,
what
man. I
it's
was,
for.
bro. I was
But and
hurt
that's
because I was
crazy
like,
that you shouldn't
man,
have felt embarrassed for no shit like that at all because like
for
that's what it's
sure.
for. And it's like as somebody who come from the community that you come from, someone who come from you, like I didn't see it, and the reason why I know I didn't see it is because I didn't put no money on it. Because I would have loved to have put some money on that.
For
You know what I'm
sure,
saying?
no
Like that
doubt.
would
I
have been, you know what I'm
appreciate
saying?
that.
Like on some, it, I would have felt like I would have been a bitch ass nigga not to put money on that. You know what I'm saying? Like this
I
my little
feel
homie,
you.
like they going through some shit, like, and like you said, bro, like you exhausting every avenue. Like you like, I'm at work. You like, no, my wife gotta stay home because she gotta stay with my son. I
Yeah,
gotta do this. We gotta do that or whatever. Like,
yeah,
so when it comes to looking to your community to be able to support you through something like that, you shouldn't. There should be no shame in that.
oh,
You know what
for
I'm saying?
sure,
That should be hell. If it's any shame to be had, like it should be shame on us for having to make it even come to the point of you having to ask. Like it's almost like you wish that you. I mean, obviously this is unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? But like you wish that you
for
almost
sure,
lived in a community that was more so like people would see a need that needed to be addressed, and you wouldn't even have to ask.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? But
And
yeah,
then
that's
just being prideful anyway. I have a pride issue, so just like anybody else, you don't like to ask for anything. But like you said, it was at this rate, it wasn't about me. So
yeah,
it's about getting this boy to where he need to be at. I need to get closer. I just need to get to the city, and I'll take it from there.
yeah,
So that was the biggest challenge, honestly, man. Like I said, I didn't have a game plan, so I was just like, man, I went to a job fair. I lived in Lawton. I
hmm
went to a job fair in OKC, and then I landed a job that same day for a construction job, but it was like a apprenticeship and all that. So it
yeah,
was like 13.50 an hour. So in my head, I'm from Lawton, so I'm like 13.50 an hour. Hell yeah, that's cool. Hey, babe, let's move. Let's go ahead and get to the city. Get to the city making 13.50. Use the GoFundMe stuff to get us set up and get our boys things.
yeah,
So I got a head start. So I'm working the job. I'm working all these hours. I'm doing construction. I'm building these concrete walls and all this stuff. Working
hmm
hard, bro. And man, over time I just couldn't pay nothing. Like all the bills. I'm like, I'm not spending my money on nothing else but bills. But why I don't have enough money?
yeah,
And then we learned later that my income was here, but my rent and bills was up here. So
yeah. I mean, which is
I
like it sound like some basic shit, bro. But like niggas really don't understand how
I
much
didn't. Yeah, it was
motherfuckers
a
don't
big
actually be
difference.
budgeting. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
motherfuckers be working, taking that check, looking to see what's due, paying it, and then going to the next check. You know what I'm saying? And doing it again. You know what I'm saying? Instead, because like we not really taught that. Like people say all the time, like, oh, they should have classes in high school about this and that and that. But like that's real. It's
Hmm.
crazy that you can get grown before you come to like the mentality, the realization of the reason I don't have enough money is because my bills are more than my checks.
And I learned that the hard way, bro. Like
Yeah,
I was
we
just like,
all
damn, I
did.
thought, man,
We
I was
all
like, damn,
did.
I thought. So I was like, at this rate, I got to get another job. Like I've been doing, I got to get another job. So I sauced my resume up and ended up in the oil field.
Okay.
So I was able to do good in there, and I moved up and everything. Like I said, everybody quitting. The job was hard. I wanted to quit, but I couldn't. My position was different. I
Yeah.
can't quit. I can't just quit and up and leave the job like everybody else can, and I can't complain and lose the job because my situation is different. I have to make this money. So, um, our finances was straight, but now things at home is getting rocky because now
You
I
not
leave
home.
at 2 p.m., but I come home at 4 a.m., so I'm not home enough. But wifey was understandable, like, hey, I understand you're making money and this is that, but you still feel shitty when you can't, like, you provide for him, but you're not there. And like, I got
That's
a
the
newborn son I can't play with because, every time I come home, he sleep and I got to sleep to wake up. It was a mess, man. So, that was an obstacle in itself, with
bruh,
that. But
like I think one of the biggest things like going through this story with you that like really keeps like pointing out is that, and I say this to people all the time, and I'm never talking to anybody who's going through something as tough as what y'all had to go through. But
hmm
the crazy thing about it is that it still applies in the exact same way, which is that like the world don't stop for nobody.
it don't. That's the
Like the
sad thing
world does
about it
not stop for you. Like the world don't give a fuck what you got going on. It don't
at
matter.
all.
No
I
one
tell
like
people
like
that.
the world don't care that your son is sick. The world don't
Yep.
care about any of that. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? And the only way for the only way to like really make it is like to make sure that you out. It's almost like it's a harsh thing to think about, but you gotta keep that in mind
It's
because
realistic. Yeah.
yeah, it's realistic. You gotta realize like man, like I gotta keep doing this. I gotta find a way. I gotta get this money, and then as a man, and
It's different.
it's
You know,
different.
you
It
you 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 feel like the head of the
you
household.
had
I
a
feel
burden,
like I'm the
yeah.
guy that got to make the way. They
Yeah, and
relying on me.
it's like that balance of okay, like I want to spend time with my family, but what is the time? What's the? But you don't want to be the nigga who like it's a nigga who with his kids all day long, but like they ain't got shit.
See?
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they over there hungry, and they over here like, how we gonna get this and how we gonna get that? You like, I don't want to be
Hmm.
that nigga. Like, I can't be the nigga who just sit up in the
Yeah,
crib all day. But I also like want to provide for my family. It's hard
it
to
is.
you know what I'm
You
saying.
nailed it on,
So
bro. That's exactly how it was. So it's like at that age, like 23, 24, trying to go through all that, you're like, damn. And then you're dealing with the politics with the military. Hey, you
yeah,
got a 30-day notice, you about to deploy. So like, damn, I don't got no say so in that either. So now I already don't spend no time with my family. Now I'm really not about to spend no time with them because I'm about to be gone for the next 9 months.
oh, so you got
So
deployed within that time too.
yeah, I got deployed. I deployed twice.
You deployed twice.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yep.
So it
The
was like
first time
all
I
that.
deployed, yeah, the first time I deployed, luckily Kian Bear saved me. So that's why I said, man, it's weird like how things happen.
Yeah.
But I was deployed with my unit and we were getting ready to leave. I did all my training. We went to Fort Bliss, Texas to finish it up,
Mm-hmm.
getting ready to go overseas. Then my son was born with all those complications. Hey, your son got this going on. It took me away and I seen him how he was and I wasn't
Yeah.
mentally straight, man. I brust down, I was broken and I wasn't, yeah, I was
Of
fucked up.
course,
So
because I mean,
they was
like,
like, yeah, you're not fit to deploy right now. Hell no, stay your ass back.
yeah. I mean,
And that's,
it's hey, bro. Like, it's. I feel like even for me, like I learned this in this interview. Most people who have to deal with something like that find out at that what is it at like 16 weeks that they do that blood draw or something like that. Like they do a test at like 16 weeks or some shit
mhm.
like that to see like does your baby have Down syndrome or like any of these other things or whatever. So like most people who are gonna
Everything
have
was good during that
exactly,
time.
and most
Yeah.
people have number one they have an option at 16 weeks like at a pregnancy that's that young whether they want to go through with the pregnancy or not to begin with. If they do,
Mm,
they know from then what they're in for. Like this is the care that my child is gonna need. This is what I need to get ready for. I need to get my house ready in this way. I need to get myself ready. I need to
right.
learn how to do these things. You know what I'm saying? Like they get all
Right.
this leeway. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Y'all went 9 months,
And
like
then yeah,
everything
last
good,
minute.
and then it's like that.
Last minute, literally.
And then
That's
even from
literally what
there,
happened.
you everything is changing. Like I would imagine, like how so okay, how old was Kian before or was there ever a point even where you stopped feeling like any day could be my last day with my son? Like at what point was there
Oh
a point where you
yeah.
kind of like let your guard down? Like I don't want to say let your guard down, or maybe that is a good way to
Yeah, that's
put
a good
it.
word. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it is what it is. You kind of not as on your toes with it. I would say 6 months, man. Like after 6 months, we like, oh yeah, he good, man. He learning how to speak a little bit. He's trying to walk a little bit. He know how to use
Yeah,
his eyes. He can't talk, but he can
yeah,
use words and he communicate. And it's crazy. We learned how he communicate without him even using words. Certain little
yeah,
things he used, and when he did have his voice, the he used certain tones. Certain tones, he do a certain movement, his eyes move a certain way. You understand what he wants from that. But
that's
only me
dope.
and my wife understood it.
Yeah,
Oh
because
yeah,
y'all
he's
spent that
hungry.
time.
And like what? Like yeah, he's hungry. You gotta. Oh yeah, he's gassy. That's what that means. Like, and he didn't speak or anything. You just knew what he wanted. It's the language he had. It was weird. But only me and wifey
That's
knew
so
it.
dope though.
It's wild. So it was no way we can have him on the daycare because nobody understood him. Like no,
Yeah,
you know. And this led to where it was harder though. Like you said, about 6 months we let our guard down. We like cool, everything's good, you know. But then about 7 months, 8 months in, before the year, his health already started declining. So that's when
uh,
we was like, oh shit, things are changing, you know.
you saying
So
before he got to a year, like before he reached a year old, like
yeah,
when he's
when
six
he
seven
hit
months old. Okay,
right, we started noticing things were changing, like his food intake and all these other different things like that. He having different health complications. He
so
was
it
having a
was
whole lot of seizures too. He started having more seizures. He'll start having spasms and he having strokes. And then we got
and
his liver and stuff checked and everything, and because they thought it was he was born with hyperbilirubin, so they thought it was something with his liver.
yeah,
And they said his liver was like the age of an 80-year-old man. So we was like,
damn,
oh yeah, so we in for a treat now, you know. So that's when
mm-hmm.
we knew like that was about, I would say about 8, 9 months in, before a little bit before a year, we noticed things started changing. He started having more seizures and everything. And that's when I knew like, oh yeah, it's kind of, but we thought it was going to be fixable, like, hey, let's get him on some meds, let's fix it while, you know, and Jordan was on him 24/7, man. So I always commend her for that.
Yeah,
I
man,
have
I
all the
know it,
kids in the world
bro.
with that woman because I
Hey,
know she
bro,
got them.
listen. Shout
Man,
out to your wife, bro. Like,
man,
just
thank
from
you.
everything you done said throughout this whole time, man. Absolutely. I mean, shout out to both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, you know what I'm saying?
She
Like,
stayed there for me,
but
man. Like,
man, shout out to your wife, bro. Like, to have to deal with that from her perspective as a, you know what I'm saying? And she's there every day. You know what I'm saying? You
oh yeah,
gone long stretches of
yeah, all
time.
by
She's having
herself.
to deal with, you know what I'm saying? Y'all been together.
Hmm.
I was thinking about that when you was talking about being gone for them long stretches. I'm like, if they didn't have a baby at all, that's hard on a lot of
Oh
relationships.
yeah,
Like if
oh
you didn't
yeah.
even have no kids, if y'all was just together, just you
Hmm.
and her, you having to be gone that much for work, and then you National Guard too, and you getting deployed, you gone again.
Right.
That's hard on most
Oh
people.
yeah.
Period.
That's why, man, I commend her. And then she's very family orientated. So that has a lot to play with that too. Like, she spent a lot of time with family when I was gone. So that made me feel good too, to know
So
that
she
she
went
had
by
somebody.
herself.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
then everything was good, man. That's when we noticed things were different. I ended up getting a job through the Air Force, or not the Air Force, through the Army. I
Yeah.
got on orders through them with the National Guard job. So now I'm making good money and I can get off at a decent time. So during that time, life was good, man. Like I'm helping around the house more. I'm helping her clean up and cook, helping my son, seeing him
Yeah.
more. Life was good, man. Then I got deployed again. I got pulled on the deployment and actually went through this time. So I couldn't get out this one. So during this time I deployed and thank God it wasn't too bad. We all made it back home alive, thank God,
Yeah.
But it was wild being over there because just being deployed and being around people that don't like you, spies, people that want to kill you. You're
Yeah.
training every day to make sure, you're up for training. Like it was wild just to be in an environment knowing like any day you can war from here. Like
Straight up.
and this whole time my son's getting sicker at home, so I'm like, I gotta fucking make it home. So I'm doing what I gotta do to make it back. I got to. Like I said, with
Yeah.
everything else, I can't afford to let nothing happen to me because if I'm gone, like my wife and son is gonna be, you know what I'm saying? That's what
I
I was going
mean,
through in my head the whole
when
time.
you think about it, bro, like one thing that I was just thinking about when you said that, man, it's almost a blessing that for all the complications your son had throughout his life that he didn't pass while you were gone.
That's what I was thankful for
You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Because that would have been as a man, and I don't know. I feel like most men can understand where I'm coming from this perspective, whatever. Like as a man, to have something like that happen while you gone,
Yeah,
it's
that's
hard to. I
man.
don't know
And
that.
trying to stay alive, trying to stay
Yeah,
alive
yeah,
and like it's man. So it's just like you said, but the thing is though, every first, the bills come up. Hey, we
yeah,
still got to pay this. Hey, insurance for him. They don't give a fuck about none of that. They don't care about
yeah,
no mental health. They don't care about none of that, man. So like you said, I understood that at a young age. I'm not gonna get no help. There's no handouts, so I
yeah. I
just
gotta
gotta
get it.
I got to get it. So, and I'm just thankful that I had a wife that can just hold it down for me too. Like, hey, babe, I know this sucks, but this is the best we can do. At least you ain't got to worry about no money, and I just had a woman that had patience to just, but during that time I was deployed, that was going on. This is during COVID. So we're moving up past that part.
Yeah,
And this is leading towards more his death and things like that.
yeah,
So this is what I'm going through while I'm gone. And it was wild, man. So I'm just all that stuff happened. My son's getting sicker. I don't know all the ins and outs details because wifey trying to make sure I stay sane. She's not trying to tell
mm-hmm.
me too much while I'm over there. So she's trying to, yeah, he's good. FaceTime video and talking. It was cool. Then I got home. Everybody's in fucking masks. The world is closed down. This is COVID shit's going on. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming back with this different mentality, and then the world is different. I come and see my son. He got tubes in his neck. He got all these different things attached to him. My wife gained all this crazy amount of weight. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like,
Yeah,
in this.
stressed out.
So, yeah, it was a mess, man. So I
Yeah,
was like, damn, dude. So I came home and seen his drawing board. And my wife had a drawing board of all his medicines he got to take throughout the day, the times to feed him, his millimeters on his food. It was a chart full of
Yeah.
shit. And I'm like, all right, so how does this go? Okay, at 6 o'clock, you got to do this. At 8, you got to do this. At 11, you got to do this. At 4, it was a whole schedule. And I was like, there's no way in hell you would have been able to work a job doing this shit.
Yeah,
Like,
shit just
there's
and it's
no way.
overwhelming to come back to because it's like you've been doing all this while I've been gone. Like
Right.
it then turned into this. Like it was always hard, but like it's this now.
Like,
Like
God damn. And then that goes
yeah,
back to what you said. Like, okay, they said he was going to last a week, but now as time go on, we got to be more, we got to start planning for this now because he's going to be here.
yeah,
And that was part of it, like, oh man. So, at that rate, I was just like, yeah, he's really sick, but, um, it's one of the things like, everything was different. Like my thoughts is everywhere trying to put it together. But when I came home and it was like that, I instantly felt just weight. Like my family's like in the crisis right now. But the funny thing is, everybody on Facebook and the world around us think everything good. Me
yeah.
and wifey almost divorced after that. Like when I came home, we almost divorced because I didn't realize that I had a lot of wrong things going on with me. Like she always tried to get me to open up, talk to her, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat down one day, like we clashing, we fighting all the time, but we just put all our problems and differences to the side, and
Mm-hmm.
we got to take care of this boy. And that's what it was. So our problems didn't matter. We never addressed them. This boy's here, and that's what matters. We got to take care of this kid because he need us.
Yeah.
And then shortly after he passed away, man, we didn't have that wall to block those problems. So now you're dealing with a man with PTSD and all this mental shit from war, and I'm dealing with a broken woman who had the whole world around her break down, and her son is getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and she's doing it all on her own with no help.
I was
So
gonna
we're two
actually.
different people.
I actually had that written down to ask y'all to ask you because it's something that I've just seen over time, or whatever. It's like a super high percentage of like relationships don't last through the passing of a child.
Oh yeah, we
Like
we
if you
talked
lose
about
a
that
child
too.
with somebody, the likelihood that
And
y'all
only
will stay
yeah,
together is
separated.
like low, low, low. Like it's
Oh
like
yeah.
most relationships don't make it. So like that this leads directly into that question. Like so how do y'all make it through that?
All right, man, it don't go away, man. You still feel the pain. It's certain songs I can't listen to. I
Yeah.
can't watch a lot of videos because they break you down. Like the pain don't go away. Like I would say on his day of passing, it was like at a point we kind of knew he was passing because it was like we did everything we could, but his health is still declining.
Yeah.
And after I noticed when I came home, he had the trach in his neck. His voice was gone. So after they took his voice away, like you can tell he wasn't happy anymore. You can tell he just wasn't happy.
Like
And
his quality, like at that point, it was like
it started
before that point, it's
declining.
like his quality of life was still, you could still see joy in him. Is what at least what it sounded like to me
Right.
is that
Right. You can still
like
see
yeah,
joy in him.
everything's
Yeah, you
like,
sure can.
but like after that point, once he lost his voice, it was like you start to see that joy dissipate. And it's like
Yeah,
okay,
you
like
start to see
now
it.
this is
Yeah.
more.
And then
All
it, and
right.
it what hurts more about the whole thing is like, and I feel like I'm alone in this, other than Jordan, which is crazy, my high school sweetheart. It's just the feeling of, as any parent, you do anything for your kid. That's what I felt like we both did. I even
Yeah.
deployed for him so I can get him a house, like
Yeah.
this house I'm in
Yeah.
now. I did that so I can get the VA stuff to get a house, a big enough house so we can move his stuff around in. So we're not, the ceiling was like this in our house. We lived in the city, but the ceiling was still,
Yeah.
low. We just trying to survive. I'm still trying to survive the Lawton mindset. I'm just trying to make it. I'm not in Lawton no more, but I'm still trying to survive. I'm not living,
Yeah. Straight up.
so after that deployment, I was like, yeah, we're gonna get a house and stuff. But during that time, I had like a few months left in the military. So I was like, after the military, you got to find something else. So I was working on a job. I finally got a job, but it required a security plus. So I'm like, okay, cool. I got 3 months to take it, whatever. So I'm gonna just hang out at this job for a little while. Everything good, still making money. And oh, let me charge my phone real quick because I do not want this to die. It's at 10%. I dodged it the first time. Sorry about that. Give
Nah,
me
you all good,
a
big
couple.
dog. Go right ahead.
Let's see. Yeah, I know it's getting good, so I don't want to be like.
Yeah, no, you are all good.
No problem. No problem. Here it is. I have to run and go get that real quick. All right. There we go. Where was he at? Sorry about that.
You were saying you had to get that security plus clearance.
Okay. I had to get the security plus, but I was like, hey, I got 3 months to get this. So I got some time, whatever, you know? So everything was good. You know, I'm enjoying the job and stuff. I'm starting to study a little bit more about the job and getting prepared for what I got to do. And I just noticed my son's health is getting lower and lower. So this goes back to what I was saying before, as something I feel along with just my wife that can relate to this. But as a parent, you will do anything for your kid. But even after all that we've been doing for him, just to see your son is pretty much dying every day, and you can't do nothing to stop it. Like, you can play with him, he smiles, you give him his favorite ice cream, his favorite food, put on his favorite movie, but every day he's still, and you can't stop it. So as a
Yeah, it's
parent that
like
want to do
helpless.
everything, yeah, and it's a terrible feeling. So it's
Yeah.
like just knowing, like, man, I'm doing all this, but I don't know how long he's gonna live, and just I can't do anything to stop it. He's going to all these appointments. We're doing, and it's just that, just knowing it don't matter what you do, it's still happening. And then that boy was fighting long term. He got on hospice, and that's when we knew, like, the fact that he's on hospice. Yeah, we know it's at the end, because anything even with cancer, when somebody go on hospice, that's it, man. So
Yeah, hospices. Yeah, they just.
that's
It's like
intern.
pain management at this point.
Right. So he was on morphine and all this stuff. And then sure enough, his mom came in, and his mom came in and everything else. He was still, trucking along, but he just looked tired, man. He just looked tired. And, it was like, man, then they told us that we couldn't feed him no more. So we couldn't feed him. He was thirsty and all that. We couldn't give him no food, water. And he's doing the little signals that he wants food, and you can't give it to him. And it destroyed me, man. So,
I know
and
that
then
had to
sure enough,
be. I cannot even
yeah,
imagine.
yeah, man, it destroyed us. And then wifey came in there, talked to him a little bit, rubbing his head, and she just said, "Hey, son, it's okay. You can rest." And he literally passed away after she said that. And we saw him take his last breath, and he was just there. I was trying to move him. He stopped moving. He was gone. He was just in the bed, gone. And at that rate, I'm like, I was numb, man. I was like that. I never felt nothing like that before. I've seen some wild stuff deploy wise and things like that, but it's nothing like that. Like, it was a very, it's one of them pains you can't, you don't understand it, So
Yeah.
I know on my point of view, I felt like I lost all my purpose. Like, everything I'm doing, everything, I lost my purpose. Like, this was what I was supposed to do, provide for my family, but now this happened. And then the crazy thing is, this goes back to the Security Plus thing. I had to take my Security Plus test. So my test, he passed like during the week, but I had to take it that following weekend. So it's like I'm trying to comprehend. Things is rocky at home. We're fighting a lot. My son just passed away, but I still got to study and take this test, because if I don't pass this test, I don't have a job. So not only will we be going through this, I won't have a job, and we will lose everything. So
Because
just
like
the
we said,
pressure
the
of that
world
alone,
don't
it don't
stop, bro.
care. It don't care.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I had to go through on that end, like, man. And then I eventually I passed the test, because I had to do it. I had to pass. I passed the test. I ended up getting the house and all that good stuff, but none of it felt good, man. Like, we got this house, felt empty. Got 2 new cars, didn't feel good, and then me and wifey still going through it.
Hold on, real fast. Hold on, right there, because my baby just woke up. Hold on, real quick.
Oh, sorry about that. No problem.
Blaze, I'm right here. We gon' we gonna have a little special guest with us for the last little bit of this.
Hey, that's cool. She's adorable, man.
Thank you, man. She just woke up from her little nap.
Oh,
Uh, but so you were saying, you saying you just had to take your test. You and wifey going through it. You talking about how you just got 2 cars, house, all this shit, but it's like it
you
still
don't
ain't
feel
feeling
it.
right.
So
Yeah.
now I understood what money don't buy happiness. Like I understood that. So yeah, it's cool you got money, but when you're not right, man, you're just not right. And so we're going through that depression of it, the grief and everything. But now we don't have that wall in between us. So now you're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with a man with PTSD and all this stuff, and I'm dealing with a woman that's been going through all this since I've been gone. So we fighting, going through it, and we mentioned divorce before, but we moved into this house, and this was this year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we moved into this house, and we were like, we got a divorce because we just can't get along. Like, but then we just sat down and was like, how did we get to this point? Like, you remember how we came together and did this? Like, how did we get to this point to where we're about to split apart?
Yeah.
And then I just told her one day, I said, well, you know what? To let you know I'm serious, I'm gonna go see therapy. I'm gonna get some counseling. And I told her, because I always felt like I didn't need counseling. You need to go counsel. I don't need that. I don't need that. And I went to go counseling and they were diagnosed me with all this stuff and I had no idea. And then after we had that talk, I showed up the next day with the piece of paper and I showed her, hey, babe, I got counseling next week with this doctor and blah, blah, blah. Then she was like, oh yeah, he really does care. And this time, for the first time, you listened to me. I didn't hear you, but I listened to you. And she's
Yeah.
been telling me to go to therapy because she said I was different, but I didn't
Yeah.
believe it. My pride in a way. And I told her I'm going to therapy. I showed her and she was like, oh, you for real? And I really went. And then she was like, I'm gonna work better on my end too. And we just worked on being better people for each other. And that's where we are now
That
in a
shit.
nutshell.
That's like the most fire answer I feel like a motherfucker could get. I was through everything you were saying, like it's almost like you ever be watching a TV show almost and you hoping it end the way you think it's gonna end. Like, man, I hope that it ends. And it's like I
Yeah.
was hoping that at some point you said that you ended up going to therapy because I feel like,
Oh
especially as
yeah.
black men, like we'll go through hell
And
and
you
be
just think
like,
you got to do
nah,
it by yourself.
yeah, like why would you even when you like list out the things that you've been through? Like white people will go to therapy over nothing. Like white people will go to
Hmm.
therapy, grew up in a 2-parent household in the suburbs, and they like my parents were kind of hard on me for school, and they will go to therapy for that, bro. And we will
Right.
like watch our homies die while we in high school and go to
Man.
war and lose all this shit, and you know what I'm saying? Like literally have
Hmm.
children pass and be like, man, I don't need that shit. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? So like it's dope as fuck that you went. It's dope as fuck that it had that kind of benefit on you and your wife.
For
Like
sure. And
I
I,
fuck with
I
that.
had to ask myself, like, she always wanted me to open up and talk about things. And it's just like, why can't I tell her about things? This is my wife. Why can't I open up and talk to her about how I feel? Then I realized I have a lot of trauma that I never dealt with before, even after all these years. So why
Yeah.
am I uncomfortable to talk about things? But and that's just traumas before, like that fear of, hey, I'll spill out my heart. But this age is social media. You spill out your heart, and it's all on social media. Everybody know your business. And so you don't want to tell nobody nothing. You rather just eat it or deal with it. So years and years of that, going to a therapist that you don't know. This is my
Yeah.
job to listen to you, to diagnose you, to just spill all of it out, and you say things out loud that you have in your head that you never, like I
That
said,
you
you say it
never
out loud is
verbalized
different.
before.
And man, I was breaking down and all that. I didn't know I was gonna be in there doing all that. But man, you realize how much you've been holding in all these years, and that was the breakthrough I had. So
That's
on my
fire.
experience and stuff. So
That's fire. Yeah, you see how it be when you got the baby. So okay, look,
oh
we
yeah.
got through the hard part. We got through all of this. So I guess we'll end it on the bright note. You know what I'm saying? You and Jordan expecting another baby now.
Oh, for sure. His name is Cameron Dimitri McMillan.
Cameron Dimitri. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. When's he
K.
due?
He's due August 7th.
August
Scheduled
7th. So
C-section.
did y'all Did y'all plan this, or did you know what I'm saying? Or did you just find out she was pregnant? Was
It
y'all
just,
trying to have a
man,
baby, or it happened?
man. The wild thing is, we were trying for a while, and then we kept checking, and it was nothing happening. But we were still rocky during this time too.
Yeah,
So after we started really just working on each other, you know what? Let's not worry about no kid. Let's work on each other. Let's focus on us and just do us. And if it happens, it happens. And that's exactly what happened.
and
It just
that's when she
happened.
got pregnant.
Yep.
That's
The moment we
fucking
stopped worrying
perfect,
about
bro.
it. Yep.
That's
Right hand of God.
perfection.
That's exactly how it happened.
That is fucking perfect, bro. Well, fucking congratulations, bro. Like,
Thank you, man.
one last question. One last question, bro. Like,
For sure.
is there? I guess we'll do a two-part question. We'll do first of all, like, when you found out, or even now, like, still, like, having gone through what you went through with Kian, like, is there any part of you that's like still apprehensive? Like, still kind of like, is there like an underlying like tone of like almost, I guess, fear, like
Yeah,
about?
for sure. I'm still working on that now as we speak, but I noticed with him after my boy passed away, I have a hard time getting close to people now because I feel like if I get close to you, you become somebody I really enjoy and want to really be around a lot.
That
I
I could
might
lose
lose you
you.
to something. Yeah, so I have a fear of losing people now. So I gotta ease myself back into the world a little bit, you know. And I think that's something I'm working on now is trying to ease back into it because it's a true fear, man. So it's one of those things. And I just put my mental first. Like if anything that's gonna make me feel like it's gonna get out of character, even the job. If I feel like if I go to work today and it's gonna be on I'll call in because I put my mental first. Once that's shut out, everything else stopped working. And I learned that, man. So I take care of that. I put mental first, regardless of what it costs.
Yeah, bro. I love to hear that shit, bro, man. I'm excited for y'all. I'm excited to see like how this is all went full circle. You know what I'm saying? You look at it, y'all been together, y'all shit grown y'all whole lives with each other.
Pretty much
Um,
spent all my 20s with her as a
yeah,
guy at
man.
that.
Yeah, straight up, man. Watching that, man, having
Man,
to go through something as tragic as that, and then like learning how to really build it back up. I think one of the things, man, like, and this is for you, for the audience, like, I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, Jaleel's story in detail before this moment. I learned everything that I
sure. I don't tell
learned.
anybody.
Yeah, I learned everything that I learned about this just now. All I knew is that Jaleel was Takee's little homie who had good energy and a good spirit. I had watched him lose a child that it was, you could tell that Kian had special needs, so I didn't know if you knew you were gonna lose him the whole time. I didn't know like the timeline. All I knew is that you raised a son with special needs that you lost at a young age, and that kind of watching you now, I could see your bounce back.
For
You know
sure.
what I'm
Thank
saying?
you,
Like when
man.
I see you now, when I see you back posting, you used to have like going back, like Jaleel used to have a little comedy page on Facebook, you know what I'm saying? Like
Man.
just funny cat, like always full of energy,
Thanks.
you know what I'm saying? And it came to a point where all your posts were about your son, which was like obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you a proud dad, like all your posts be about your kids. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
And then it came to a point where it was like, I ain't really see much from you at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw
Yeah,
that he had passed, and then
I
it was
just
like,
I went ghost literally. I cut off I deleted all my social media, changed my number, and I literally just had to no distractions and figure out what the fuck's going on because I lost myself.
yeah,
First time in my life I lost myself. I didn't know who I was, the way I thought, the way I do things. I
yeah.
lost myself and
I've been
I
seeing you
didn't I
back
was
though.
stuck for sure.
I've been seeing you back though, and that's
Thanks.
what I was so happy to see, bro. That's what made me feel comfortable reaching out to do this interview. You know what I'm saying?
For
Because
sure.
I'm seeing you back on Snapchat, clowning. You know what I'm saying? Making jokes.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing you putting other people on with your security business, bro.
Oh
Like
yeah, I'm always trying
that
to get
shit's
somebody
so lit.
paid,
To
man.
to be a nigga from the L. I mean, how much and how much is when you get somebody to come out and work for you? What's the minimum that they getting paid an hour?
Oh, armed security, you getting like 15,
And
15,
think about
16.
when you moved, like you had by the time you had moved to OKC, you was only making 1350. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Busting your ass doing, you know what I'm saying, da 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 da. Like
Right.
now you in a position where it's like, nah, like I'm gonna put you on, you know what I'm saying, somewhere where you can make $15, $16 an hour, you know what I'm saying? Like You
For
going
sure.
from
We
a nigga
start off at
looking for a
18
job,
at
hoping,
that.
wishing you could make 15, and being a nigga who hire motherfuckers for 15. So like,
Yeah, like it start off at like 15 to 14, but we pay 18 starting out. So it's
see,
even more than everybody else. That's why like our contracts are filled right now
see,
because we start off with better pay too. Because man, if you're doing security, we believe like you should get paid for that. Like,
cause
you
you,
know what I
bruh,
mean? So
when
yeah, you
somebody
out there
real
dealing
doing
with that,
something,
right? So we be trying to pay accordingly, especially and then especially the type of work you do. We ain't gonna put you in no crazy spot. You know, we ain't gonna give you no job we wouldn't do. So yeah, it's really easy bread to be honest. So
that's lit though, bruh. Like, hey, bruh, like. I'm proud of you, bro. I'm fucking
thanks.
you literally, bro. Your story is fucking is literally inspirational as fuck, my nigga.
Thank you,
Like
man.
it is, bro. Like motherfuckers need to see that. I know it's other people who done lost, who done had to deal with loss on that level. People who just trying to figure out how to make it through. Like, bro, like your dedication, your perseverance, the love you have for your family, the respect you show your
For
wife,
sure.
like all of that shit is top level shit, bro. Like that's
Thanks,
why I
man.
brought you on this motherfucker. Bro. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this motherfucking interview, bro.
Oh,
Like
no doubt, man. Anytime. I'm thankful that you wanted me on it, man. Shoot.
yeah, bro. I hope this shit is as meaningful for somebody else as it even was for
You
me,
look
bro.
like you
Like
processing it like,
I
man.
am, bro. Like
You
this
look,
shit is lit, bro.
you
Like
look like you like, dang, you processing
we really did that. You know what I'm saying?
it. Man.
Yeah, this was shout out Keys, shout out Bree, shout out DJ, all the other people I done interviewed on here.
Hey.
This my favorite. This the best interview we done had, bro. This is
Oh, thank you, man.
yeah,
I was
this
just
is
honest, man. 100 with you. That's all.
hell yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. Love you, bro. Like I appreciate all that shit. You see my little one. She getting anxious, man.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's
She
about
said
time
interview's over.
to
Will you say bye bye? Will you say bye bye? Say bye bye. She said
She like,
I'm not waving it. She said bye.
bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye. So I'm cool on
Appreciate you.
that.
Oh, there she go. There she
Oh
go. Bye
yeah.
bye.
Yeah, there she is. Yeah.
I, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey man, I appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna be in touch, man.
Oh, no doubt, man. It's all love this way too, man. You take care, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, bye.
Yeah, double up the respect. Came through the wire, fresh out the fire, my mic check. Leaning and rocking, feel it yourself, it's high tech. Moving pieces all on the board, my nigga tryna see billions. My gift to gab honest. Escape trials and tribulations, fighting your honor. Shark in the water, grabbing for paper like I'm Nirvana. Code of honor that I follow, my nigga, is worth billions. Homie, fuck your greasy granny them. He been slapping shit so long they gotta come and Grammy him. He so fly, he walk on stars, solar systems carry him. Bank account status when they bury him. Billions. Make sure you say it 2 times. Dre, nigga. Make sure you say it 2 times. Tryna see the salad with the croutons, laying the foes down like futons for the billions. Yeah, man, you not tuning in. Fuck this shit podcast.
And billions 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 and billions.